So why would I want to set up a Facebook shop? I think this is a great place to start when we're thinking about doing this. Why would I want to do it? Well, if Facebook is the only website that's associated with your business and you want to sell concrete goods online, a Facebook shop might work for you. So notice that I said concrete goods because if you are using Facebook as your e-commerce platform, they want you to be selling physical things, as we'll see a couple of times throughout this presentation. However, on the other side of the spectrum, you can also use Facebook shops if your business has its own website and established e-commerce platform that you would like to bring to social media. So it's kind of an interesting spectrum, all the way from my business doesn't even have a website apart from Facebook, all the way to having an established e-commerce platform. So kind of regardless of where you are, you might be able to find space for your business on Facebook shops. Some other reasons why we might want to sell on Facebook or Instagram. The global social commerce market is currently estimated to be around 90 billion per year, but it's expected to grow to 600 billion per year by 2027. So even if these numbers aren't close, I would think that a doubling from 90 billion per year to even 180 billion per year would give us a good reason to want to get into this kind of e-commerce. But this suggests that the growth will be even larger than that. Also, 60% of Gen Z has used social media to discover new products. So I do not think that Eric is a part of Gen Z, but he gave us a very nice example of finding things that he likes to buy on Instagram. So we see that this is something that lots and lots of people do. So we want to be involved in that. All right. To get us started, what do we need to do to get started? Well, we need an established Facebook and or Instagram business page. Now, I point out that it needs to be established here because when Facebook and Instagram go through their process of vetting your business, their preference definitely seems to be for businesses that have existing pages. Now, that doesn't mean that if you're just setting up new that they won't accept your business, but it certainly might not work as well. So hopefully you have an established Facebook or Instagram business page, and you're just trying to add shopping capabilities to it. You also need a physical item of some kind that you want to sell. There are other options. You can put things that might not work in the Facebook shops in your catalog and still be able to sell them through Facebook. But with the shops narrowly, where you're using Facebook as your e-commerce platform, their preference seems to be for physical items. So that's something that you need to keep in mind. Although I think that probably most of us are selling physical items, so this probably won't be too much of a problem. All right. Once you have that together, you want to go to this website, which is business.facebook.com/commerce. And you'll find the Facebook Commerce Manager. You can also just Google Facebook Commerce Manager, and it will take you where you need to go. Once you're here, you need to have your personal Facebook page, and then you can click on the Get Started button, and you'll be met with this. So here we see a couple of options. So we can create a shop. This will give your Facebook business page the e-commerce ability to sell and collect money. You can also create a catalog down below. This will give you the opportunity to sell other kinds of goods. And once you made your decision, we're going to focus on setting up a shop today because I think that that will be most applicable to the people that are here. Click on Get Started. All right. The next page that we're greeted with looks like this, and it's just sort of giving us an overview of things that are going to be coming next. So we see there the list of things we're going to be working through. And of course, we click on Next. Now, here we're choosing our checkout method, and there are a variety of options. We need to scroll down a little bit to see what is here. So we can see at the top, there is checkout with Facebook or Instagram, which is recommended. We can also see that you can check out on another website. This would be the button that you would choose if you have your own website or e-commerce platform all set up. You can also check out with messaging, which allows customers, when they go to checkout, it sends you a message using Facebook Messenger, and then you can direct them to whatever website or checkout method you want to use. So for our concerns here, we're going to click on checkout with Facebook or Instagram. And of course, we're probably wondering what the fees are that are associated with this. It looks like right now, Facebook is pausing their fees, but when their fees come back, the selling fee is 5% per shipment, or a flat fee of 40 cents for shipments of $8 or less. So here's an example of how they apply these selling fees. So let's say that you're fulfilling an order with multiple items and 2 shipments. If the first shipment is $10, they'll deduct 50 cents for the selling fee. That's 5% of $10, of course. If the second shipment is $6, Facebook's going to deduct 40 cents for the flat fee because the shipment is under $8. I think fairly straightforward so far as it goes. And luckily for all of us, the selling fee includes the cost of payment processing. So far as these type of options go, this one is pretty good. Of course, if you're directing traffic to your own website, you'll of course pay any associated costs that go along there. All right. So there's this other option of turn on Shop Pay by Shopify as a payment method. This will be available starting on August 2nd. There is not a ton of information about it, but I gather that it is just another option to pay, and that the only reason you wouldn't select it is that if you had some sort of problem with the Shop Pay's terms of service. I didn't feel like I did, so I checked it, and we'll move on to the next step. All right. So here is where we choose where we want to sell from. So here is one option. You can also click create a new page if you want to do that. That's what we're going to do here. We'll pick a local business or place, enter our business's information, create the page. There we go. Nick's Vintage Microphones. How fun. Click there. And then next. All right. Now you'll be able to connect this to a business account. Got a couple going here. We're going to go with this one and then click next. It'll want you to enter your business's email address. We will, and then click submit. All right. So here is where it's identifying the catalog that we'll use for this. We don't really have a lot of choices other than to click next. All right. Now it's on to shipping. So when we click on offer standard shipping, we have to click on at least one of these because we'll remember we're selling physical goods, so they need to be shipped. So when we click on these options, it will give us our different shipping options here. So notice that you need to identify the cost of shipping. And one of the shortcomings of this particular e-commerce platform is that you don't have a ton of flexibility in these areas. You can only pick one cost for shipping and then one cost per additional item to ship. And then your cart minimum for free shipping, if that's something that you want to offer. And then your estimated days for delivery. And notice that you have to set these for your whole Facebook shop. So that's something important to keep in mind, especially if you sell a variety of different products, that you might want to be careful about what you choose to put on if there's going to be very different shipping rates, because you only get to pick one. If something that you need is variable shipping rates, this just might not be the best option for you. And I would encourage you to stick with us, because in a few weeks, we're going to be giving a presentation about Shopify, which would certainly give you all of the flexibility that you need. So you can also offer expedient shipping. If you do that, you'll get another drop-down menu with all of the options. And then if you want even faster shipping, you can click on rush shipping, and here's all of the options for that. Now, of these three, as I mentioned, you have to choose at least one. I think, especially if you're just kind of getting your feet under you, probably best to start with standard shipping. I will also mention, when it comes to the estimated delivery days, Facebook wants you to be able to deliver within 7 days. So you need to keep that in mind as well. All right, so we're going to do our standard shipping, and we'll, of course, fill in all of these pieces as we see fit. And then we also need to include our return window. And we see there that Facebook requires a minimum window of 30 days to accept returns. And again, if these policies are not consistent with what you want, this might not be the best platform for you. There's a variety of other platforms that might work better. Because Facebook set it all up, they set the rules, and they want you to offer a minimum window, a return window of 30 days. So once you're ready to go, click next, and you can scroll down through all of your options. And then we see we need to click on the box to submit our shop for review, and then finish setup. All right. So when we leave this menu, we'll then be granted with this option. Facebook will prompt us to set out our payouts, which I think is probably what we all absolutely want to do. If we're going to be selling things, we want them to be able to give us the money that we make. So we'll go through these steps, which are laid out again here. So we see what they are, and we'll go through them one by one. We'll start by clicking on next. All right, so we of course need to enter our business address and business email there at the bottom. Put all of those things in. It will then allow you to click next. Then you need to identify your business category. There are not so many categories here. We're selling microphones, so we're going to choose electronic stores and then click next. Here, you can enter your tax information if you have your state tax registration number and the state that we're in. And if you don't have this, it will allow you to continue, although it might not be properly managing your taxes. And Christy very nicely adds in the chat that you're also invited to meet with an SBDC advisor in your area, and they can help you with these things. All right. So now we move on to our representative. So this is the person who is in charge of things. This is the person who Facebook will contact if they have questions or when it comes time to process any of the tax information. And then we'll click next. And finally, our bank account information. I'm sure we're all familiar with entering this in. We enter it in here, click next. Okay. So setting up your shop. Once you've added your payment information, you'll be greeted with this Commerce Manager overview. And this will allow us to do a variety of things, including adding items to our catalog. So this, I think, is the fun part. But along the side, we have all of these different controls. we can manage our catalog, our shop, any orders that we have, payouts, an inbox, which of course manages communications between ourselves and our customers, ads, which we will talk about in depth next time, your account health, which monitors a number of different measures of how well your account is doing by Facebook's considerations, and then an education button, which will help you learn how to do all of the things in the Commerce Manager, and of course, the settings button. Over here, we have a couple of important buttons. We see how many items are in our catalog, currently none, what the balance is in our account, and here is the button to connect an Instagram account if we want to do that. For right now, we're going to click on Add Items to our catalog, and we'll be met with this page, which is our catalog page. Now, if we remember all the way back to the beginning of the presentation, where it asked us if we wanted to set up a shop or if we wanted to set up a catalog, if we just choose to set up a catalog, we will have the opportunity to get to this stage a lot faster. Certainly an okay way to go if you would like. So remember that when you are at the beginning. Here is our catalog. Now, we of course need to add items to our catalog. We have a few different ways that we can do this. When we click on the Add Items button, we see that we can add multiple items, or we can add items one at a time. We're going to quickly go through add multiple items first, just to sort of show you how it works. But then when we actually add items, we will add them one at a time. All right. So when we click on add multiple items, we have a few different ways that we can do that. We can use Pixel. So Pixel is an analytics tool that's made by Facebook that allows you to measure the effectiveness of your advertising by understanding the actions that people take on your website. If that sailed over your head, do not worry. I would not worry about Pixel. When you become an expert in these matters, then you can deal with it. The other option is a data feed here. This allows you to use a spreadsheet to enter items into your shop. If you already have a program that is managing the inventory in your shop, I would imagine that it would output a spreadsheet that you could use for this. This is also helpful if you have a really big shop. If you are just entering a few things or you don't have a spreadsheet, you can click on the manual button. And remember that we're adding several items, and then click next. So when we're adding multiple items manually, we're met with a screen like this, which gives us a bunch of options here that I'll be talking through in length when we go through it the other way. We can, of course, scroll this way. As we can all see, it gives us more categories, and this will allow us to add multiple items at once. This way of adding items is particularly good if you have a lot of similar things and you can sort of just cut and paste and repeat the process over and over and over again. You can add a new row there, as you see at the bottom, as many rows as you want. If this seems to just work better for your mind, you can certainly work it through this way. As we see this list here. But what we're going to be working through is adding one item at a time. All right. So when we click on this, we're met with the add item screen. So we can drag and drop a picture into the top here. We need to have some sort of image to sell our item. Here is where we'll put the title. So this can be up to 150 characters long, and Facebook recommends under 65. And in fact, maybe even a little shorter than that could be better. This is the description of your item. I have found that it works best if you insert it as a single paragraph. And then the website link, if you have a website where you are selling this item. If you don't, you can certainly leave this blank. We'll scroll down a little bit, and we have a few more options here. We want to set the price of our item. If we want to put the item on sale and we click in this box, it will allow us to input a lower price and it will show our item is being on sale. Condition here, our options are new, refurbished, and then 3 different versions of used, from used like new to used acceptable. And then a brand if we want, which is optional, and a content ID if we have our own skewing method. If you don't have your own skewing method, certainly don't worry about that. Facebook will take care of it for you. And then down here, you can select your category. So we'll go through these things now. We have the picture of our microphone up there. All right. If you want to add additional images, you can do that here. But notice that the max file size for all the images is only 8 megabytes. And my file was too big there. Something I went back and did was upload smaller pictures so that we could add multiple images. Something to keep in mind as you're gathering your images for your items. If you can keep them smaller, you can add many, many more pictures. Here is where we add the title. Linear 250 is the microphone that is pictured there. And here's where we add our description. So you'll notice that I mentioned that it works better if you put it in a single paragraph. This is how I learned that that is true by putting it in multiple paragraphs. So keep that in mind as you move forward. The price, we're going to go with $75. Our condition is used good. Brand will be linear. And then we'll select a category. There's all kinds of categories here, but we're going to choose electronics and home, audio, and video, and then click next. All right. Now we need to choose the quantity that we have to sell. It sounds like lots of us will be selling unique items. So of course here we want to put 1, although if you have more than 1, you can put as many as you have and it will keep track of your inventory for you. Click next. And then our shipping preferences, I ended up choosing $13.75 and 5 to 7 days shipping. And then the product tax category. So certainly check in with your tax professional about this. It will have to do with the kind of good that you're selling. You can also leave it blank if you're not sure, and then click next. Now, this allows you to add this item as a variant of another item that you've previously added. So if you, for example, have previously added a red shirt and now you're adding a blue shirt as a variant of a previous item on color, you can do that, and this will allow you to add variant items. In this case, we're going to skip this step, and then it's a good strategy. All right. So now we're going to go through the process of setting up our storefront. So we'll see that we've added 4 items to our catalog with different prices. And when we click on the Shops button, we're met with a page like this. Down here is the tutorials and FAQs. This is a tremendously helpful button. It will give you access to all kinds of time-saving videos and documents to help answer all the questions that you have. But to get us going on our shop here, we can click Add New, and then Product. And when we are adding this way, we can either manually select a product or dynamically select a product. Now, the difference between these is that when it's manual, you are choosing the product that appears. When it's dynamic, Facebook is using the information that it collects about people, and it is using it to advertise to them what they think they will like best. So certainly if you have enough items in your shop, dynamic might be a great way to go, but we're going to stick with manual today, and then click confirm. We're going to choose the linear here and confirm. All right. So there we can see our picture is a little funny, maybe not the way that we want it. So if you click upload image here, it will give you these options. And I will admit, this was something I never quite figured out how to make it work perfectly the way that I wanted it to. You just kind of have to move it around until you get something that'll work. And I found that clicking on one-to-one worked best for me, and moving the box a little bit. Then we end up with this, and I think that that'll work all right. And we can see there the price and then the short description, which are at the bottom there under text. All right, and here is our picture. Now, if we want to add these items in another way, we can click on collection. All right, this will allow us to add a new collection. A collection is a subset, a grouping of items. Do that, confirm, and when we set up a collection, we need at least 2 products, which makes sense. Here, we're going to put 2 Electro Voice microphones together. All right, we'll check both those. And when we do that, we see now that people can view the collection, Electro Voice down there with the good old RE50. All right. Now, the other way that we can add items to our shop is using a grid. So here we can click new collection, confirm, and when you're doing a grid, you need at least 4 products. So we will select all 4 of our products, and you can see the grid at the top of the grid at the bottom there. All right. Now, if we click on the preview, it will let us see what this is going to look like. And I think that that looks okay. It'll also let you interact. If you click on the view product, there we see the other page that we wanted, our price, add to cart, and the details of the item, just as someone that was shopping in our store would see. And then this button to close. So what does a shop look like in action on Facebook? So here we can see a post on the Vintage Microphone Facebook page, right, with the linear 250, and we can click on it to view the product as it says. This will bring up this, and if we click here, we're brought to our checkout page, and we can see that people can add the item to their cart. As we'll discover next week, we can also create ads that advertise our products across many people that we don't know, so that we can increase our click-through and the opportunity to sell our things to people that might be interested in them. But from here, you can click and, of course, fill out all of the information and buy the item if you want. All right. Now, we might wonder, how do I create a post that sells something that's in my catalog? Well, you just create a post, and you can upload a picture. And if the picture is similar enough to a picture in your catalog, Facebook will recognize it, and it'll say, hey, we found your products in the post, and we tagged them for you. So click here if you want to edit the tag. So this is a picture. We might notice it from the catalog. Click here to edit the tag. Hey, it tagged it as exactly the product that it is, the Electro Voice RE50. All right. And since it already tagged it for us, we can click Done Tagging and Save. And then we can post. And again, a post that people can interact with and buy from our Facebook shop if they want, a post that we can boost and advertise to people, and so on and so forth. All right, there it is. A few other options that I found. We can set up our shops to look like this. Here's another version of the post. This is what a post might look like with multiple pictures that can be scrolled through. In this case, when you click on them, it takes you to this company's e-commerce website. And here again, a similar thing, right? So when it comes to setting
Nick,
up,
Debbie does. She just
sorry, Debbie, I'm sorry. You're in the top corner of my. I keep this in your hand, so go ahead.
But you're muted, Debbie.
Okay. All this sounds wonderful and very inviting to participate, but is there any trappings? Is there any warnings of things that we should or shouldn't do to protect ourselves? You know, I mean, the internet knows me too well already, so I don't know what I'm worried about, but just wondering if there's something, that we need to be cautious of.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I don't remember who put it in chat earlier, but as I said, I think that probably one of the better things to keep in mind is that you want to make sure that it's clear to people that are buying things from you, that they are, unique handmade items made out here in Eastern Oregon, right? As opposed to something that was made very cheaply and drop shipped from who knows where, right? Something that I think is pretty common, I think, especially on Facebook. So I think that I'm not so sure that it's a trapping necessarily, but something to keep in mind is that you definitely want your business page to appear like you are a legitimate business. And I think that that will help you. As far as things to watch out for, I think that it's probably in Facebook's best interest to protect you as best they can, whatever that means. Maybe it means harvesting all of your information. I don't know. But in any case, I didn't come across a bunch of things that I was really, really worried about as I was going through this. Certainly, if other people have other experiences, I would be happy to listen if we have something else we'd like to add for Debbie.
The only other thing I would add too is I know that, and I kind of put it in the chat, Lisa had asked about, local pickup, which is something you can do, but similar to the way that like a Venmo would work or PayPal has worked in the past, there's purchase protection. And that's one of the things that Facebook does as well. So other than that, other than, maybe liability for your type of product, Debbie, I don't think that pertains to you. I can't imagine someone getting hurt or injured by one of your cards. But if there's something that has to do with your business product, that may just fall back on typical business insurance or something like that. But I think Facebook is pretty safe with the way that it sets up its purchase protection.
Yeah. And I see that Sue put in the chat that if we go this route, would it be worth setting up a separate bank account so that our main accounts aren't exposed? And I would personally say that assuming that you have a business account that you're using, it doesn't seem to me that there would be any need for setting up a separate account just for using Facebook. In fact, I think that Facebook would be horrified if they thought that you were doing that. Certainly, it's in their best interest to keep your information safe. And it was my feeling as I was setting all of this up that my information was safe. To put it a slightly different way, I would think that as the person selling things, you're in a pretty good position. It may be the people that are buying things that have the harder job because they have to differentiate awesome items like Debbie's cards from less good things that are out there as well. So,
hey, Nick, how long did it take to go through start to finish?
Man, thank you for asking that question. That's an excellent question. It can take a while. So Facebook says that it can take up to a couple of weeks. And certainly that is consistent with my experience. I'll be honest, I've been working on this for a little bit over a week. And I still haven't been able to get my microphone shop functioning the way that I wanted to. In large part, I believe because I set up a new business page for it. So that's something that's important to keep in mind. If you use your existing Facebook business page and you work from there, it can probably go very, very fast. But if you're setting up a new business page, either Facebook or Instagram, you need to first get it established before you move forward. But it can take a little while. Or it can go really fast. So there isn't, I'm sure that there is rhyme and reason to it. But It isn't always lightning quick, which is maybe something to keep in mind. Any other questions? All right. So I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. We're getting near the end of our time, but there are 7 steps to set up an Instagram shop. You want to confirm your eligibility, convert to a business account, connect your Facebook page to your Instagram, upload a product catalog, complete the account review, turn on shopping, and then make the content on your page actionable. All right. So to confirm your eligibility, your business needs to be located in a supported market. Luckily, the United States is a supported market, so we have nothing to worry about there. Your business needs to sell an eligible product, which effectively, in most cases, means a physical good. Oops. And your business needs to comply with Facebook's merchant agreement and commerce policies. Now, I'm not an expert on merchant agreements and commerce policies. I will admit that as I read through these things, it basically leaves it up to Facebook to decide when your store is up to their policies. So, as I was mentioning, it can take a while if things don't go perfectly right. But again, my best guess is that if you have an established Facebook business page with plenty of traffic, you probably won't have anything to worry about, and it'll go pretty quickly. So steps 2 and 3, if you are setting up a Instagram account for the first time, you need to convert it to a business account, or if you're using your personal account and you want to convert it to a business account, and then you need to connect your Facebook page. So to do that, you need to go to the Instagram cell phone app. You'll click here on these 3 lines. It'll bring up this menu. Click on settings. It'll take you here. Click on account, and then switch to professional account. This will make your Instagram account a professional account, which gives you access to all kinds of different options to measure how people are interacting with your account. Certainly something that's worth doing, even if you're not planning to set up an Instagram shop. And if you're interested in how to do this, going to BMCC's SBDC YouTube page, you'll find a presentation that we gave about this earlier in the year. Click continue. It'll ask you to select a category for your business. We're going to do product and service, and then you can decide if you want to display this on your profile or not. Click done, and then it will ask you if this is a business page or a creator. I'm going to assume that not too many of us are influencers, and so we'll click on business, click next. It'll ask you to provide your contact information, an email address and phone number. Click next. And then to connect to your Facebook page, you choose the page that you want, click next, and it will walk you through the process of connecting. So to upload a product catalog, well, remember, this is going to be a similar process that we do in the Facebook Commerce Manager that we went through earlier. And as with Facebook, it's also possible to integrate Instagram with one of Instagram's certified e-commerce platforms like Shopify or BigCommerce. And as I mentioned, in a few weeks, we'll be talking about Shopify, and certainly we'll mention at that point how to connect it to Facebook and Instagram if you want to come back for that. To complete the account review, you need to go to your business's Instagram profile and select settings, sign up for shopping, follow the steps to submit your account for review, then visit the shopping in your settings at any time to check the status. And if you don't have that button, it means you haven't gotten all the way to where you need to go. To turn on shopping, once your account's been approved, you go to your business's Instagram profile and tap settings, businesses, then tap shopping. And then there you'll see your product catalog that you want to connect to your account, and then select done. So we'll go through these process here, settings, business, and then set up Instagram shopping. And from there, it will take you to the catalog that you want to connect. All right. Once it becomes time to make the content actionable, you will tag products So start by uploading a photo as you normally would. Then before posting, tap Add Photo, add a caption. There will be a Tag Products button. Click on that by tapping on the photo. This will allow you to search for a product in your catalog. You can select a product, tap Done, tap Share, and it will be done. So here we can see, we click on the buttons, and we can click on the item that we want to tag. It will take us to our catalog. We can take care of it, and then it is ready. I will put up this page again. So I'm going to stop here, but certainly am happy to stick around and answer any questions as long as people would like. Thank you all for your time and attention this morning. I appreciate it. And I hope that you learned a little bit about how to set up Facebook and Instagram shops.
We had Nick, just real quick, we had a request, oops, darn it, to post the YouTube channel. And so I'm trying to talk and get that link at the same time. And I'll put it in the chat in just a moment so people can grab it before this ends.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm happy to stick around until everybody has what they need. And there it is.
Perfect. Thank you, Christy. I actually just threw the YouTube link in there. So did Christy. Perfect. And then I did throw a link in there as well. If there's anybody that has questions that hasn't registered with our center yet, or you're not yet working with an advisor, I put that link in there as well. It's the clients.oregonsbdc.org website there. So feel free to click on that. You can also find that link on our website as well, or like Nick mentioned, just give us a call at the number below and we'll get you set up.
All right. Are there any other questions or comments, thoughts? Okay.
We can't hear you, Debbie.
Unmute. Is this video that you just, or this session you just did, you said you're videotaping it, so where do we find it?
Yep, so that'll be up on the YouTube channel once we're done with it. Typically, it'll take a day or two before we get it posted on there, but we will also send out an email to everyone that's participated in this to let you know that it's live.
It's great. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you again for your time and attention. I hope you all have a good day. Look forward to seeing you all next week and at any future sessions that SBDC provides. I think that the SBDC is a tremendous resource. I'm certainly grateful that they're doing this work in our community, and I look forward to seeing you all in the future.
Thanks, Nick.
Yep.
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you for watching our video. If you would like to speak with a business advisor at no cost to you, please feel free to reach out. We're the Small Business Development Center at Blue Mountain Community College. Please attend one of our workshops, either virtually or in person, or just give us a call. Thank you.